true. Here, yes, here we are.
Yes. How are you doing?
Fine, thank you. Fine in this autumn weather of Ankara.
Where are you? You are in where
In
are you?
Ankara.
In Ankara?
Yes, I'm in Ankara for a while.
Yes.
I will go back to Mardin after 15 days.
Awesome.
For just one activity remaining, an awarding ceremony in Batman.
All right, all right. I am sure you'll just be fine.
I hope so.
Yeah. Then, I will be there next week. I'll see you.
No, next week in Ankara. Okay, I'm here. Yes. What is next week? Oh, yes, yes. Last week of May.
Exactly.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay.
Then in first week of June, I will be in Izmir. I'm starting the activities for the other project.
Lots of projects.
Yeah.
Cleofe, I mean, let's start also about the panel that we will do today. So
Yes,
and then
please.
we can also chat. I mean, today we are doing like the WEglobal project impact stories, and it is the first one that we are doing with you. You are the team leader of the youth employment project, which has been just great feedback so far. But we will more hear from you today. So thanks for coming, and we can, simply maybe start introducing yourself. Maybe you can just talk about yourself and the project, the youth employment project as well, if you can.
Okay, yes. Okay, myself, I'm a sociologist, especially labor and industrial sociology. But this was 50 years ago when I graduated. And okay, I'm in Turkey since almost 10 years, having the honor to guide very many different projects in the field of employment or social policies or both, and local development or two. And so I was honored to visit and work in 42 provinces. Regarding this project, okay, we are in the southeast of Turkey, so you know better than me the situation over there. We are in a border region. We are in a region with really hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands of years of ancient culture and multicultural approach. We are in the border that always moved in the history. Everybody is talking minimum 3 languages, Arabic, Kurdish, and Turkish. And in 2005, Turkey Ministry of Industry established some development and support policies in order to make possible also this region to set up industrial zone, new small, medium enterprises, and strengthening some factors, and to move the regional economy only from agriculture and landlords to a supportive economy for small, medium enterprises, and also some medium, large enterprises in textile sector, especially established there. For example, we work with the Employer Association in Nusaybin, which is one of the neighborhood of Mardin. And only in Nusaybin, there are 150 small, medium enterprises that are working as façon, façon. They don't have a brand. And we will go back to the story of the brand at the end when we talk about sustainability actions that we discuss with the stakeholders, okay? So the region is suffering very high youth unemployment. Eurostat says that between 2011 and 2017, so before the preparation of the OIS, the unemployment of girls increased from 14 to 44%. And the unemployment of males, young boys, increased from 16 to 38%. This is the fact of a double dynamic, let's say. One also is the dynamic that is increasing the basic education, the 12 years mandatory education life. but also that İşkur is acting to try to identify need and to register them in the officially in the unemployment register. So what the project wanted to do was to make a tailor-made intervention related especially to the need of the region to modernize the skills of young people under digitalization, the concept of new digital skills, and also related to some specific sectors. It means the construction sector. In the last 10 years, the big wave of migration had an impact on the construction sector. And because of the characteristics of the region, the technical equipment of the construction of the building, for example, elevators, for example, heating or air-conned devices, for example, natural gas pipelines that it's arriving in the region from Azerbaijan and so on, they needed technical skills of young people. So the idea in the project is, okay, let's work first of all to improve the skills of young people in these two domains, the digital, lato sensu, so many type of digital, and the VET related to technical support of construction sector. And the other point are the 4 universities that are young. Yes, okay, 10 years ago, 12 years ago established. It means especially the career centers of these universities are on paper in the last few years, but with not so much capacity to support the university undergraduates. I apologize, I have a cough, just a moment.
Yeah. I mean, I know that you had some issue with the throat, yes.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I got a cold and a few days
some
ago.
water.
Yes, I have water, thank you.
All right.
So the second, as I say, big intervention was in cooperation with the universities. Consider in 3 years, the career centers director turnover was almost 2 or 3 times in each university. The career center have very low resources, very ridiculous number of staff, no staff practically, 1 person. And you can find, for example, in Batman, there are 22,000 students. It's the biggest one. And in Siirt, they have also a section for Syrian studies. But there is this distance, let's say, from the understanding of the labor market. So one of our intervention was focused especially to cooperate with universities. We give training on soft skills to the university undergraduate that they don't learn at school, let's say, and to establish in the career center a plan and work with them, implement information meetings with employers, implement information meetings with visionaries and successful business person coming from out of the region. So this was done also. I don't want to speak about numbers, all the numbers, you know this approach. In contracting authority, in our TOR, we have all these indicators, blah, blah, blah. We have overachieved all of them. So don't speak about numbers, let's speak about quality and solutions, let's say. The other important part was to promote an entrepreneurial mindset. Due to the history of the region, where many times there are old families, big families, rich families that are also controlling somehow, let's say, the local economy, it is not easy for young people to find their own path to set up their own business. So this entrepreneurial mindset was supported with several different activities. First of all, we established with DICA, but regularly was the project, entrepreneurial and financial consultancy help desk. In the 4 provinces, our experts, they visited school, universities, public education center, and they got provided meetings to people with a small business idea, but also to small groups of students. And this was supportive to arrive to the second step, because we organized 2 entrepreneurship competition, and it was really very nice. And just to tell you, in the first competition, it was open to everybody, only the age range, of course, it's under the product. And we received 77 business ideas, and 3 have been awarded. But the quality, let's say, was not so sophisticated. It was dealing with valorization of food, typical food of the region, handcraft products, by using digital platform, which is, of course, a new approach, at least not new in the rest of the world, but new in the region. In the second round, it was very nice. The number of business ideas increased. We received 100. It was only for girls. And we awarded 4 girls, and the quality of the ideas was much better after 1 year. So it means there is an improvement in the capacity to understand what is a good business idea, to prepare a preliminary business plan. It was really not a detailed business plan, but a business idea description. We prepared all the templates. For example, who won in the second round? A girl who prepared an application using mobile games to help the children to better learn mathematics. This is very interesting, I think, so that the children can increase their awareness, interest in learning mathematics. And the other, for example, this was the proposal of this mobile application. By the way, the winners, they went through internship. All the big companies that offered in Istanbul internships, for this second round, they extended voluntarily the internship of the girls because they are good. And 2 of them received a job offer. And the other idea was very interesting, also very, let's say, up to date. How to recycle the wastewater coming from the production of olive oil, and how to use this that regularly is black water, but how to filter and reorganize and use to become an organo-mineral fertilizer. I don't know exactly the technical word, but you understand the point. So this is, again, a very nice approach, let's say. And also both of them very nice related to sustainable development goals, because the first is related better education, quality education, and the second to environmental impact. So it's nice.
Nice. Cleofe, I mean, this is already a very good introduction. Most of my questions that I was thinking to ask you, you answered some of them. First of all, the region, from the audience, just to make them imagine the region. So the headquarters of the project office was in Mardin, which is in the southeast part of Turkey, and you got 3 other cities, so 4 cities in total. And then, so this is one of the less developed part of Turkey, and the borders are with Syria and Iraq.
Iraq, exactly.
So Iraq, border of Iraq, border of Syria, and less developed part of Turkey. And we are talking about employment and youth employment, less infrastructure, less business, and there are 4 major universities there that you are also working with them. So it is not an easy project. Plus, I'm also thinking, plus, there is the COVID period that in the middle of the project, COVID, most likely less mobilization between those cities and all the stakeholders. But then, I didn't live in Mardin like you did, or obviously, but came a couple of times. And every time that I came, in the last meeting, for instance, I heard my ears, like the clients, the beneficiaries, the delegation was saying that this was one of the top projects that we have ever seen, one of the best. I mean, and youth employment, difficult region, lots of issues and needs. I mean, what did you do different to impact the region the way that you guys did? Because everybody talked positively. I'm sure there are lots of things to do. There are lots of things we could have done better. But overall, they said one of the top projects that they have ever seen in the last 15 years. So what was different? I mean, I'm just thinking.
First of all, we started exactly with COVID because it was July 2020. And the difference between the big cities and these less, let's say, big and local areas is that it seems that the people there was not so careful. Me and my friend and key expert training, Asude, we were living alone for 1 year in Hilton. Can you imagine? Because they were without anybody. They made a fantastic deal for us.
No clients other than you guys?
No client, no big deduction.
So you must have got a good deal with them, you know?
Yes, but we were around with our nice masks. Both of us, we got our vaccination, of course.
Yes.
Personally, I had 4 in the time because I'm older than you. And we were not scared to visit and meet and sit and explain. All the people that was there when the OAS or the tender, the TOR was prepared, was not there anymore. Even the General Secretary of the Beneficiary Regional Development Agency, he arrived with us, new General Secretary. Nobody knew so much. Just one expert in the beneficiary was there still, and she was very much committed and very kind person, but we spent a lot of time visiting the 4 provinces, each day on the road again, each day meeting İşkur, universities, rectors, governors. This was the first 6 months to gain a common understanding and understand also many specific, operational problems. For example, in the TOR was written that İşkur should provide daily allowance to the participant under the measure called Not Employment Guarantee Training. This has an agreement with the Ministry of Education, Lifelong Learning, so the Public Education Center, and everybody didn't understand how to make the triangle with the beneficiary in order to get this part. And we found out the easiest way. It means to sign agreement with the Ministry of Education at provincial level, 4 provinces, 4 agreements. And this was the bridge between the beneficiary, Ministry of Education and İşkur. And then also we signed agreement. This needed all 5 months almost between July and November with the 4 universities to clarify all what we would have done together in the 3 years. From the very beginning, listing all the activities together, what the project is providing, what they can expect. And then, under the point of view of the organization, the backstopping was not only project assistant or our nice project coordinator sitting in Ankara or project financial support sitting in Ankara. We enrolled also 2 young girls of the region, speaking both also Kurdish, that were appointed as regional coordinators. And they were traveling all around, visiting again during the implementation of the activities. And so if I can tell you some specific obstacle that then we already checked, even in the final phase with our stakeholders, where each could change totally the policies after a few months. So if you consider 96 total training activities, they provided allowances only to 12. After that, you know, in the local culture, the families are very important. We had some long trainings, 50, 60 days, 100, 120. And the families were not happy to send these children to learn and without any type of economic support, let's say. So also these projects had to change the strategy, use the incidentals in another way, provide transport, provide, you know, to the participant, to the trainees, all this capacity of adaptation, flexibility, always negotiating everything with the stakeholders, because this is not our, we have proposed solution and then slowly. This was a permanent process. When we write our nice TPs, we assume that the world is perfect, yeah? But then there we have to adapt and to make possible to arrive to our scope with this, the alliance of the stakeholders. I don't know if I answered something.
Yeah. No, it's perfect. Actually, I also took some notes with what you said, because you described with you actually, what I was thinking, actually, the impact, because it's a very I would say very not a developed region. When you look at the statistics, they are way down in Turkey, and then Syria and Iraq. The other parties, and the unemployment rate is high. And on the other hand, you repeated a couple of times languages, like those young people speak almost 3 languages, which is good skill. Turkish, and you told me that before, Turkish, Arabic, Kurdish in the region, and then you also talked that we had lots of good entrepreneurship competition, which they made them identify innovative areas and be able to find jobs through those competitions. And I assume some people came to the region to,
Jury, yes.
Jury, yeah.
We had a jury 2 times.
2 times.
From Ministry of Industry, but also important successful business persons. And it was very interesting also for them. They didn't expect the quality. What I can tell you, we performed as an extra activity, because it was not enough all what we had to do. We also invented new 2 times employability survey. What does it mean? We interviewed in 2022, April, May, 600, it was the number 58 of our trainees that completed the training, 1 by 1. And it was, of course, phone calls interview, because in 1 month. But all of them, they answered with great pleasure. They had a very good, how can I say, image of their experience. But what is more interesting is that 27% found a job.
How many? Sorry?
27.
While
and out of
during
this,
the project.
Yeah, 27% after the training received by the project found a job. Okay, we have to be clear. Out of these, 55% were the boys. So the girls are less accepted by the local labor market. Although our participants, more than 65% are girls. We had a quota in the TOR to be able to accept minimum of 25% of girls in the training. But this is also surprising. There is such a will of these girls, young girls. We are talking about people who is usually the bulk, the big bulk is between 20 and 25. And we had up to 65%, and in some digital training, 100% of girls. For example, learning how to become an accountant using digital software, computer-based accountancy, okay? We had some training where there were only girls. And the second round of this the survey, we implemented the next year, so 2023, this year, in March, April. 436 quest trainee interviewed. 38% found a job.
Some water.
Yes, yes.
By the way, while we are talking about it, go ahead, though. Let you finish the sentence.
And here, because in the last year, we implemented later the BT technical training for this construction sector, let's say, devices. 78% of these 38%, they were boys, because they are attending this training, becoming an elevator assistant and repair, natural gas pipeline technician. Usually we had some girls. We were not obliged to have. We had some girls also there. But this is a man sector.
But let me also capture, because also from the time management perspective, actually today we are talking about impact of the projects, and impacts are usually monitored and evaluated after the projects are completed. But what you are saying right now is that we already started to see the impacts, like as an outcome of them finding jobs during the project, before the project completed. But you're also concerned about the gender equality. When I'm getting into the sustainable development goals of UNDP and the impact, and gender is number 5 under the sustainable development goals. So you really tracked that, and actually girls were able to find jobs in a very less developed area, although they attended more, find less compared to boys, but they were able to find jobs. And first 27%, second group 38%. Also, like capturing poverty obviously is less there, them finding jobs, them staying in their region, improving their skills and education, number 4. I'm just looking at the decent work, industry, maybe improving the industry, and sustainable cities. I mean, so I mean there are multiple, you touched to multiple areas of sustainable development goals already with your impacts of the project. I mean, what do you think about it? I mean, what do you feel good about about them?
There is also another point. The region, unfortunately, the region, unfortunately, has a high rate of irregular job. So when you arrive to the point that people becomes more, how can I say, aware about their rights, this means decent job, not only a job, but decent job. And decent job is also one of the points in the ILO, of course, but development goals. Yes. I see here a question. I don't know if we can already.
Yeah, the question I can read for you. That was from one of our audience saying that could those who could find a job stay at the same job for about a year?
Yes, until now, but we should somehow repeat this type of, impact assessment. I mean, this was very early, so we wanted to know only at the end of the training, okay, let's understand what is going on. We are delivering training to hundreds and hundreds of people. So this was why we implemented this ex post employability, I call it. Not employment impact, but employability, how much they become more employable after these interventions. Yes, until now, yes, but we should repeat. And the point is sometimes, you know very well how the tender are prepared and the technical proposal and the contract. So if it is not the beneficiary that is putting in its own work plan, strategic plan for the next, after 1 year, they have all the data we provided, of course, name, phone numbers. emails, everything, Excel files for everything.
But that's a good one, Cleofe. I mean, the question is also a good one. Like, because even the project ended, they started working, and we are able to monitor that they found a job, they started working for a period, and they are continuing. And you also have some suggestions that what should be done next when this project is completed this summer. So, what are your suggestions, making this, outcomes sustainable, or maybe as a next phase?
We did something that we called preparation of a sustainability plan. Again, in the technical proposal, this was written in the closure phrase, you prepare your closure plan, but this is something administrative, managerial. It is not content-wise. So again, because we believe in what we do and in our stakeholders, we requested, and it was approved as an extra activity with an administrative order. And we spent a lot of time to interview all the stakeholders in the 4 provinces. And first we prepared the methodology, of course, and we prepared Delphi questions. We did 2 rounds with key informer, not only in the region, but also out of the national level. 2 rounds before and after focus group. So the methodology was quite, according to the time, not so many people impacted, because in the Delphi, for example, we had 10 answers before the focus group, 10 answers after. But the focus group meetings, we gathered around 35 representatives in the 4 provinces of institutional stakeholders. And we prepared 20 pages of proposals, shared with the stakeholders, after listening to their criticism also. What was good, what was missing. Be careful in the next tender. We have also, not managed by WEglobal, but there is a supply component. And of course, it was supplied, the laboratories for the elevator assistance training, or the digital equipment for the programming training, everything was supplied to the public education centers, to 6 public education. But in the supply component, there was no update of the license. So after 1 year, poof, and the public education centers, they don't have their own money, or the budget is very limited. Or in the technical supply for the construction sector, the material consumable, let's say, because you use some type of things that are tools, a screwdriver, just to say. But then you need a lot of consumable material. And this was not in the incidentals, and this was not in the supply. So we received a number of warning, lesson learned, and also proposal, what they would like to do, because now it's open a partnership. These are small provinces. If you sit together, the director of ISCO, the director of MONE, the director of DICA, and the director of, you decide everything. You go to governor and it's done. It's not Istanbul. But they need a facilitator. And the task of the development agency should be exactly that, to be a facilitator, to put them together, to talk with Ministry of Industry and say, okay, in IPA, we made an exercise with the stakeholders. The exercise was, okay, now we tell you what is IPA 3, what you can receive from them. And we prepared a list of topics that they think are important for possible projects under IPA 3.
Good.
Now these reports are in the hands of EUD, both of them, employability and sustainability plan, and in the hands of contracting authority. Upon approval of TICA, we already shared, and of course, with the members of the steering committee. It means each institution has a copy.
That's good. Cleofe, that's good. We are coming almost end of our talk. Maybe just to wrap up, also, I'm sure that 3 years, right?
Yes, 3 years.
Yeah.
Next month, it's the last month, 36.
And 2 years, almost 2 years, like COVID times, almost.
1.5. Yeah.
1.5. So
And
half
then,
and half.
unfortunately, in February, this terrible earthquake that was exactly bordering our provinces. For
Yes.
example, just I want to tell you a story. It's fantastic. We had to stop because of emergency status for 15 days, all the training. Our boys that were under the maintenance, natural gas pipeline, blah, blah, they decided with our trainers, the trainer of the project, to move to Adiaman and volunteer for 15 days.
I mean, that's a really great, maybe team effort, like all of them doing that. And really difficult times. I mean, COVID, then the earthquake, then the less developed area, then the region, and you're talking about already impact of the project before it's completed. You as an Italian person, or Sanremo, from Sanremo.
San Marino.
San Marino. Sorry, San Marino. So I hope you had a good experience.
Of course.
In the last 3 years. I mean, so how was it from you personally?
The region is fantastic. The people is so warm-hearted. We are Italian twinnings with Turkey, with South, of course, Turkey especially. So no problem. It was good, and especially this big surprise, the girls, how much they are interested. So they need really to break a little bit this family pressure and find their own path, become more skilled, and so therefore more independent. And in some small places there is still a problem of early marriage. So we are talking about difficult areas, but also a lot of people that really is willing to think how to develop this region.
All right. I mean, two things. First of all, thanks for, highlighting the gender, because we are also like a 67% woman employed company. So we really give high importance, and you highlighting it that all the time makes the raising awareness about it. Secondly, you saying that people thinking about the region and how to improve, and you doing lots of things with the team. It was a great, kicking, the improving things. So we really appreciate you and all the entire project team, the beneficiary, the contracting authority, the delegation. The good part is that we said this talk is going to be 30 minutes. It has already been more than that. 10 minutes passed, and I'm just checking the audience. No one has left. So everybody stayed, although we kind of extended our time. So thanks. I think we can listen you even another 40 minutes, but let's wrap up. If you want to say anything else, please do so, or else we will simply, finalize it for today.
Yes, an observation about, let's say, WEglobal managerial style. May I? It's very difficult to.
Go ahead.
Our team was split a little bit in Mardin, a little bit in Ankara, and so. But really, we had a fantastic support, although the presence was not so often because of COVID, because of distance, because of busy schedule of our Ankara people. But both the project director and the project coordinator and the other project, they really were ready to, as if they would be there, let's say, okay, even not physically. And the other is we hired all junior staff as backstopping in the project, and only one girl is from Ankara, but one is from Mardin. One from Diyarbakir, so nearby, the other from Şırnak. And of course, now the point is what they will do, because it's not easy in the area after they have such a quality benchmarking, let's say, sorry. Yeah, we will see.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. Thanks for all that. Thanks for saying that. And No worries. But thanks for your leadership, the management style as well as the cooperation with all the stakeholders and the team, every single of them. And this has been a great success story and impact story already before the project is completed. And hopefully see you in the next projects as we, do.
Hopefully,
So
for sure. Goodbye, everybody.
have a good day. And then, the questions, thanks to you, Cleofe, we didn't take questions. There was one question already asked and we answered. Maybe just for 1 minute, as this is our first impact story. If there is, I will just pause for 10 seconds. If there is any question, please ask, or else we will simply wrap up and finalize it for the day with a 12 minutes late. Okay. Thank you very much, Cleofe. Thank you. Have a good
Goodbye,
day.
Levent.
Have a good
Thank
day
you,
for
everybody.
everyone. Thanks for attending and listening us. Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you to you. Bye.
Thank you. Ciao.